Open.
How's it going, YouTube? Today we have a match between Wargreymon and Blue Flare. Back to some EX-04, but we'll get into BT-13 with the next video. So we see Koromon hatch digivolved into the Promo Agumon, and then Red Memory Boost will be played down. Looks like he's gonna pick up the Raid Wargreymon, pass things over with Wanyamon hatching, digivolving into Gaussmon, and then a Kiriha is played down. Playing another Red Memory Boost, looks like they were looking for level 4s, or maybe just even more search, because he's going to pick up the Metal Greymon from BT12. Swinging in with Gaussmon, it dies, so he draws for the Wanya, and then he's able to play out the Greymon with the on deletion effect. This allows him to search the top 4. He's going to pick up, it looks like a Blazing Memory Boost, and then another Gaussmon. The ability to float with Gaussmon is actually going to come into play later on, but we're going to see him play that Blazing Memory Boost down, revealing top 6. No Kirihas to play, but he gets to pick up 2 Blue Flare cards. He's going to grab Wargreymon and a Decklist. The rest will go to deck bottom and passing over to Greymon. He's going to push up, digivolve into Greymon for 2. This allowing him to play the tie off the when digivolving effect. One thing I've noticed about the locals is Greymon is not going anywhere. And even over in Japan, Greymon is still wreaking havoc, even through BT14. So always a strong deck to play, no matter the format. He's going to pop both of the boosts, digivolve into the BT12 Metal Greymon. He's thinking about raiding, but unfortunately it is suspended, so he doesn't get to raid. But he will go ahead and swing in. Greymon will save under Kiriha. And then we're going to see another tie played down. The Wanyamon is hatched. It's going to digivolve into the EX-04 Gaussmon. Blue Flare is another deck that's not really gone anywhere. We see the Metal Greymon coming down, 2 sources underneath, not quite able to stun it yet, because he needs fewer sources, but he will pop the boost, swing in, do 1 check, I believe he does have jamming, and then he digivolves into Wargreymon for 2, which will allow him to unsuspend, and then he will swing over the Metal Grey. So as you saw from one of my previous videos, I prefer the Red Flare, but Blue Flare is still a contendable deck. Gaussmon's played, we see Koromon hatched, digivolved into the Promo Agumon, and then into the BT12 Greymon in the back. Checking to see if it unsuspends any other way, but no, it's only on digivolve. So digivolves into the Metal Greymon in the back. We see the Gaussmon promoted up. He's going to swing in with Gaussmon, hitting into Hades Force, which will actually delete the highest. So he's going to save and then materials, well, not technically material save, but put a Greymon and a male Bergermon underneath Kiriha. See on deletion from the Wargreymon effect. Swinging in with the second Gaussmon. And needing a way to close the turn out now. So we see the EX-04 Metal Greymon coming out for a total cost of 3. And he is going to swing for the last security check. And then he's just going to pass turn with Ice Wall. And yet again, this is why I was saying the Gaussmon was going to come into play. Because he's going to Digivolve into the Raid Wargreymon, but unfortunately with everything suspended, he can't get the suspension off. So even with the Hades Force here, it will trigger and he will have to attack before actually deleting the Digimon that comes out. So they end up wrapping it up as soon as they discuss a few things. Just lets him know that the Hades Force has to trigger, so the attack and deletion has to trigger simultaneously. So unfortunately he won't be able to attack the new Digimon that comes out. Similar to Calling from the Darkness and a few other options, once you actually play the option, all effects of the option actually have to resolve before you can move on to any other effects. So because of this, the Hades Force would be able to delete both of them, but then the attack would have to be declared to the security. He wouldn't be able to attack the new Digimon. So with that, they ended up discussing this for a little bit longer, but we're gonna cut over into the next game for you. So Greymon will start us out. He hatches Koromon, Digivolves into the Agumon X Antibody, and then plays out the Red Memory Boost, searching top 4, grabbing the Metal Greymon from BT12. Wanyamon is hatched, Digivolved into Gaussmon from BT10. Dracomon is played, and then another Gaussmon is played, allowing him to draw for the Dracomon effect. So Greymon is Digivolved in the back, and then Agumon is played, revealing top 4. He's going to pick up the Blitz Omni and bottom deck the rest. So we're going to see Gaussmon promoted here, swinging in with the first. Hits into a Red Memory Boost, swings in with a second. This one finally dies, so he's able to play out. This was a misplay here. He played out the Kiriha and Nene, but pretty soon he plays out a Greymon from his hand, so you could just do this in the opposite order and it would actually cost the same. The Gaussmon's on deletion effect is to play one level 4 Digimon with blue flare in its traits, but he played out the Kiriha, and he's thinking about how to pass turn, and he's going to end up playing the Greymon anyway just to get the pass. So like I said, either way it didn't change the game state, but make sure to read the cards. This was the finals from one of our locals here. This is at Onboard Gaming. So he swings in, hits the Yuya. And then here's where he goes ahead and closes off the turn by just hard playing a Greymon from BT10 and searching the top 4, grabbing a Decklist and the Male Birdramon from EX-04. So he's gonna pop both of the boosts, Digivolve into the BT12 Metal Greymon, and he's going to Digivolve into Greymon X Antibody from BT9. Suspending the Yuya so that option cards don't affect him. Digivolves into the starter deck Wargrey. And because of that, he is sitting at 4 checks currently, unaffected by options, plus 2k from the Yuya. Swinging in, big enough to withstand anything. Hits Kaiser Nail, but nothing to trigger. Hits the Blazing Memory Boost, hits Kiriha and Nene, and then the last 2 checks, swings in, and then Blitz Omni for game. And that'll go ahead and wrap up game 2 for us. So right now it's 1-1 against Blue Flare and Wargrey. So Greymon will start us off, hatching Koromon, Digivolving into the Promo Agumon, and then Agumon X Antibody, and then Digivolving into the BT12 Greymon. Wanyamon is hatched, Digivolved into Gaussmon, And then we see him play the male Burgermon from BT10, which allows him to play a Kiriha as long as he doesn't have one. Greymon X is digivolved into the back, and then BT12 Metal Greymon, Metal Greymon Altarius mode from promo, and then into the starter deck Wargreymon one more time. So we see the Gaussmon pushed out, swinging in with the male Burgermon. It actually lives here. Swinging in with the Gaussmon, drawing for Wanyamon. It does actually die right there, but they end up moving it off the field here in a second. So just thinking about the next play. And here's where they realize, go ahead and trash the Gaussmon. And that is quite the scary stack in the back right there, so it's going to be swinging for quite a few checks. So we see him play out the Blazing Memory Boost to pass the turn. He's able to grab the Kiriha, and then 2 Digimon with Blue Flare, or 2 options, just as long as it has Blue Flare in the traits. We're going to see him grab the male Burgermon from EX-04, as well as the Shoutmon Cross 7 Superior mode. Definitely a new addition to the deck. Quite a fun one to play around with. You're able to get the Kaiser Nail combo off occasionally, but it's just even good to play straight from the hand. So we're going to see him swing over and pierce, drawing for Koro, and dealing, I believe this is 4 checks here. Hitting Kiriha, and then those 4. And then he's going to go ahead and Blitz Omni, taking out that last security. And we see the Wanyama hatched into Dracomon. Popping the Blazing Memory Boost to go up to 5 memory. Unfortunately, he didn't have another Digimon out to gain one off the Kiriha and Nene. But we'll see if he's able to pull this off here. We saw him grab the Superior mode, so we know it's in hand. We know he can Digicross at least 1 from trash, and then with the Kiriha he can Digicross from 1 underneath the Tamer, but then he has to actually have the rest of the cards in hand to reduce the cost down. And it's by 1 for each card with Blue Flare in its traits in this deck. Now in other decks you're able to play it with completely different requirements, because you'll have the Cross 7, or all the Digicross as well as Blue Flare traits. But in this one, we're about to see him come down and reduce the cost by quite a bit. Choosing which one he wants to actually pull out of trash, because the Kiriha Nene can only grab 1. So Shout Cross, Cross Superior, suspending both. So he can play out the male Burgermon, grabbing Cyber Launcher from trash, and all of these in hand. So I believe that's for a total cost of 8. And with this, it will bottom deck all of the sources, and then bottom deck the Digimon. And he thought it was delete the sources, but it's actually bottom deck. Sources first, and then the Digimon on top to the bottom. And if you want to get technical about it, you're supposed to bottom deck the Digi-Egg as well, but it's fine. So we see Koromon hatched, Digivolved into Agumon, and then into Agumon X Anybody. We have a red memory boost coming down. He's going to grab the Metal Greymon from BT12. And then we see the Yuya played down. activate this a little bit early, but technically they would gain the 1 because he would have two Digimon as soon as he pushed up. So that is the Dracomon promoted up. It's going to play out the Greymon. Just hard playing, revealing top 4. It's able to grab the Metal Greymon from BT10 and the Gaussmon from EX-04. Doing 1 check. Drawing for Wanyamon, but it ends up crashing into the Alteris mode. And then he's going to Digicross in the Metal Greymon to pass the turn. This Cross 7 is a blocker, so keep that in mind here. But if I remember correctly, the Greymon player was just missing the 1 level 4. He was able to build all the way up with that first stack up into the Wargreymon, able to take out all the security in 1 turn, but after that, Cross 7 Superior just bottom decked everything. So if he promotes, there's a chance he can get up into a blocker, but yet again, he would need the level 4. So he's just going to double play rookies, and then that'll seal the game. Because with the superior mode, options don't even check. So he's able to do 2 checks right here, and then finish the game off with Cross 7 Superior. So here's the Greymon list, as well as the Blue Flare list. I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the digital plane, playing the Digimon card game.